Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Red Demon Rundown. Today, we're joined by our new superintendent, Mr. Sheck. This week is a little different due to it being Buffer Week. If you're not familiar with Buffer Week, it basically means that high school athletes are not allowed in the high school facilities until the next upcoming week, which is when winter sports will be starting up. So make sure you come ready on the 17th if you're wanting to play winter sports. So, Mr. Sheck, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you grew up.
Yeah, before I do that, Ty, are you ready for winter sports?
I am, for
Good.
sure.
Good to hear. So I am Jason Sheck. I am the current superintendent for Dodge City Public Schools. I did grow up in a small town in western Kansas near Hays, Victoria. I graduated in 1994, ended up going to Hutchinson Community College, and then back to Fort Hays, where I graduated with a bachelor's in biology. Eventually ended up taking on a role in the public school system in Haven, Kansas, and then from there just kind of had a couple of different stops. Spent 12 years in Elk City, Oklahoma, before moving to Dodge City 12 years ago. Once we did move to Dodge City, I did start my career at Dodge City High School and was a teacher. I taught biology, anatomy, and physiology and some health science classes for a couple of years before moving into an administrative role at Dodge City High School. Eventually moved into a couple of other administrative roles and then landed this year as the superintendent. So just a little bit about me, kind of where I came from and how I have reached the level of the superintendency here in Dodge City.
And you mentioned Victoria, this being sort of a sports-related type of podcast. What kind of sports did you guys have at Victoria?
So when I was at Victoria High School, we pretty much had three sports that we could play. It was football, basketball, and track. And I will have to say that the majority of us in the school participated in at least two of those probably back in that time. There was still not a lot of us that did all three, but there was a pretty good group of us that competed in all three of those sports. So yeah, it was a lot different situation, even for me, having gone through a smaller school and then going on to play college football at Hutchinson and then Fort Hays for a year. It was very different as I learned how different structures and different things work at different levels and different sizes. And eventually, even when I was down in Oklahoma and was at Elk City, Oklahoma for 12 years, the things that we were able to do in Oklahoma that were even different from Kansas, and how all of those different things come into play as you're navigating through athletics, and the difference in the location and the size of the school, and how much that really matters in what you're able to do and the opportunities that you're able to either have or provide to those student athletes.
Mentioning you did play sports in high school, so you ended up as a superintendent. A lot of kids that play sports in high school, they tend to see the higher goal of playing at the next level and maybe reaching MLB, NBA, NFL, those type of sports. As you're the superintendent now, did you always truly want to be the superintendent growing up?
No, actually, basically, to your point, Ty, I actually grew up wanting to be a professional athlete, and that was something that I really had to come to my senses with as I got into college and started having those different experiences and being around those different levels of athletes than I had ever seen before in my athletic career. I started realizing kind of where I fit in the grand scheme of things and how few opportunities actually existed outside of the playing field, and that you always have to make sure that if you have a goal like that, that's phenomenal, and you should let that goal drive you, and you should let nothing come between you and trying to succeed in that goal. And that's kind of the approach that I took. I really had to take that approach even to get to college athletics. I was always undersized and wasn't always the best athlete on the field, so to speak, but I was able to do some other things to give myself that opportunity to be successful, and I understood the game so well at that point in time that I was kind of able to be like a coach on the field at times and really help the team come together. And so it gave me a little bit different perspective on some of those things. And ultimately, it's probably what drove me into the coaching realm so much. I really enjoy the coaching aspects, and even to this day, even though I've pretty much had to hang up my coaching whistle at the public school level to move into some administrative roles and really progress in my career, for those that don't know, I've been the defensive coordinator for the local indoor arena team for the last 2 years, and so that's something that I've really enjoyed being able to do and really get back to that field level coaching and being around those players and really helping them with the strategies and the things within the game to be successful as a team and coach them through that. So everything around those sports and around the athletic portion of my career has shaped me and prepared me to be a superintendent, but I can't sit here and say that my one goal always in my life was to become the superintendent or a superintendent at all. So along the way, just like with an athlete, just like with a business person, just like with anyone that goes out there and has goals, things change. And life is a winding road. It's not necessarily a straight path. So basically what I did is as new opportunities were put in front of me or new things came about, I relied on all of the internal skills and the characteristics that I had developed over time to allow me to become successful at those other levels. And then once I decided to get into public school administration as a whole, I just decided for myself that now that I was in that level of leadership, that I wanted to do everything in my power and set some meaningful goals to get to the highest level possible in that realm.
And you mentioned, being in Oklahoma, all those different types of jobs, all those opportunities you've had. So, small town Victoria, how does it feel, moving into the superintendent office and the new Civic Center building? Is your office bigger? Is it smaller? Does it get cold sometimes? How is it moving into a new building?
Yeah, the first thing I will say is the facilities and the opportunities that we have here in Dodge City are phenomenal. I will be completely honest, and I share this story all the time. When we moved here as a family 12 years ago, it was literally to get closer to our immediate families and get back into Kansas from Oklahoma, and we really didn't plan on being here for very long. We were here for a couple of years, and I was so impressed by the way Dodge City Public Schools operated and the great things that were going on in the school buildings and the opportunities that were being provided for our students that we have now been here 12 years, and I've got to see each one of my kids graduate, with you being the final one who will, we hope, graduate this year. So it's been a neat experience for me to see those things come to fruition and see my students thrive in this environment in Dodge City and have opportunities like this where not every high school senior is getting the opportunity to sit around and speak with the superintendent on a podcast and create and even possibly have a business plan and a business model leaving here for how this podcast could possibly progress into a business opportunity or something like that. So those have been the things that have been really neat for me to see in my progression in Dodge City. and excited to continue to see those things occur. But to your point, with the district office and the Memorial Stadium project and this high school right here that provides so many different opportunities and atmospheres for students to learn in, I believe that Dodge City has really done some things well in the past. And as the superintendent currently, I hope to continue that progress and really continue to make decisions that are student focused and student driven, and continue to provide not just great facilities, but a great atmosphere and a great culture for our students to grow in, thrive in, and have the opportunities to do those things that they want to do both during school and after they graduate.
Yes, and as your new rules settling in, could you give us like a simple day-to-day basis? And we know that you probably have meetings and all that boring stuff, but what's a simple day-to-day you would do?
So yeah, I like to start my day early. I'm a coffee drinker. I picked that up early on in my career, and as I was coaching, it just became something that I enjoy doing, is getting up early in the morning and kind of having that opportunity to have some self-reflection with myself, really get in touch with those things that are important to me. There will be some Bible verses mixed in there at times where I really need to focus on certain aspects of my life and my career, and I will just spend some quiet time doing those things. And then I try to get into the managerial portion, the task-related things that I have to get done on a daily basis. As a leader of a district this size, there are just certain things that are critical that I can't overlook. I've got to answer emails. I've got to return phone calls. I've got to make sure that I transparently and effectively communicate with a lot of people. So I try to get a lot of those things done if I can during those first couple hours before most people are even out of bed and thinking about starting their day. I have already begun that process. And then once 8 o'clock hits, I really try to be out and be visible and be a part of the district and a part of the community and really see what's going on. In the few months that I've been in my position, I've had people walk up to me and say, "Oh my goodness, you're everywhere. Like, how are you all over the place all of the time?" And I do. I enjoy being out there and being a part and being able to do things just like this and sit down and just have a meaningful conversation. Yes, you're doing it for a school project, but I really enjoy being out here and walking down the hallways and being able to communicate with the students and the staff members on a daily basis and really being visible as part of the district and not just the leader of the district. So yeah, along with all of those meetings and the other things that we have to do, it's really taking my leadership and putting it into practice is what I enjoy doing.
And as the coach of the team, the leader of the team, if you will, of the district, what are your simple plans? What are your goals for the future of the district, and how do you see it in the future?
Yeah, kind of like I mentioned previously, is I really want to continue to build on those great things that we have going on in Dodge City Public Schools. There's a lot of positives, and we are fortunate to have the opportunities that we have and the great facilities that we have and all of the things that have come before me. And my role and goal is to make sure that all of the decisions that we make in the future stay focused on our students and making sure that we are preparing our students for the best outcomes when they leave Dodge City High School, whether that be through academics or through college readiness or through career readiness. We will have students like my oldest son, your brother, who come out of Dodge City High School and have developed the skills necessary to start their own business and just flourish from that level, that don't really see college as the track that they want to take at that point in time in their life. So there are all different types of things that go on in public education, but at the core root of what we want to be about is about helping our students become the most successful that we can and providing them with those opportunities. And sometimes it's giving them the opportunity to learn what they don't want to do before they leave us. High school is kind of a safe space where you can decide, do I want to be a broadcaster someday? Does that fit me? Do I really enjoy doing a podcast and doing those types of things? Or can I now, after having that opportunity, kind of rule that out like, no, I don't think I ever wanted to do that type of thing. So part of what we do in public education is provide these types of opportunities where not only can kids decide what they want to do, they can also decide what they don't think they want to do. And so those are the types of things that I hope we can stay focused on. I also want to stay very focused on taking care of the people of the district and making sure that we have a positive culture, so to speak, where people feel safe both physically and emotionally, socially, that we can have that atmosphere where we can work together to resolve problems and come to resolutions and be able to move forward as a district as a whole.
That's awesome to hear. Sounds like great plans for the future in the district. And lastly, Mr. Scheck, for the people watching today, what would you give a word of advice to?
I'm going to say just be relentless. Have a relentless approach to the things that you do. If you get knocked down, get back up quick. Don't stay down for a long period of time. Just always keep in mind those things that drive you and the things that you're passionate about, and let those things be the things that you stay focused on, even during difficult times, making sure that you have those things that you can rely on and build that network of trusting people around you. Again, I refer to the district as a team, and it takes our entire team to be successful. And so as individuals, we've got to make sure that we develop those support networks around us. But at the end of the day, we control our own thoughts, which then control our actions and our decisions. And so just always keep in mind that you want to keep moving forward and keep pushing forward and truly be relentless and approach life in a manner that allows you to be successful.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Scheck. And thank you for coming on to our podcast today. And just for everyone watching, I hope you're listening to his great words of advice and take it on to the future. And thank you guys for watching another episode of the Red Demon Rundown.
All right, I appreciate it, Ty. Thank you for having me on. And I look forward to watching your podcast develop over time and seeing the great things that you and the students of Dodge City High School continue to do.